Taekwondo, the traditional martial art of Korea, has developed over the course of 2,000 years to become the national sport of Korea. In 1972, the Kukkuwon was created as the World Training Center of Taekwondo. A year later, the World Taekwondo Federation was launched as the world governing body of Taekwondo. Taekwondo has seen dramatic growth in popularity since the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games, where it was a demonstration sport. The sport of Taekwondo debuted as a full Olympic sport at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. In recent years, however, Taekwondo has faced challenges. There has been a call for fair judging and refereeing in Taekwondo competition. The WTF has also been under growing criticism at home and abroad for its lack of concrete vision and transparency, causing disinterest in the sport from the public. Winds of change started to blow through the WTF in 2004. On June 11, 2004, the WTF elected Dr. Chung-Won Cho as the new president of the WTF in an extraordinary General Assembly in Incheon, Korea. The first step toward reforming the WTF for the first time in the history of the WTF. Taekwondo built on its success during its debut at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games to remain as an Olympic sport at the 2004 Athens Olympic Games. WTF President Cho stayed on site in Athens for the entire Olympic period and watched all the Taekwondo competitions. The popularity of Taekwondo was very high in Athens. The Taekwondo venue was packed throughout the 4 days of competition, reflecting the strong popularity of Taekwondo during the Olympic Games. The final in the men's over 80-kilogram category between Dae Sung-moon of Korea and Alexandros Nikolaidis of Greece drew much attention worldwide. The final will be remembered for the sportsmanship and fair play displayed by both athletes, thus exemplifying the virtues of Taekwondo. The Athens Olympic Games highlighted the fact that Taekwondo should be reborn as a global sport that is loved by fans around the world. The WTF held an Executive Council meeting in Seoul on October 4, 2004. The meeting served as an ideal occasion for Executive Council members to reaffirm their conviction to reform Taekwondo and the WTF. On October 5, 2004, the WTF nominated a new Secretary General, Dong-Hoo Moon. Among the Seoul Executive Council meeting agenda items put forth to the Executive Council members were the formation of a reform committee, implementation of the WTF Development and Solidarity Program, implementation of a marketing plan, distribution of the Reform Fund, and the launch of a global public relations and promotion campaign. The WTF held its Executive Council meeting at the International Olympic Committee headquarters in Lausanne, Switzerland on March 10, 2005. At the meeting, Executive Council members approved in principle a series of policy recommendations developed by the WTF Reform Committee. This would form the foundation for a major overhaul of the WTF and the sport of Taekwondo. IOC President Jacques Rogge attended the Executive Council meeting to deliver his congratulatory remarks and showed his great interest in the strong support for the WTF's ongoing reform process. Later that day, the WTF signed a 4-year global partnership agreement with Samsung Electronics Company in Lausanne. WTF begins. In pursuit of excellence, the WTF produced a 188-page-long reform report in February 2005 after Reform Committee meetings in Seoul and Bangkok. The passage of the reform report heralded a new beginning of the WTF. The Madrid General Assembly also approved the new WTF emblem. The introduction of a new emblem after 32 years was intended to showcase to the world the WTF's new image. The colors of yellow, red, and blue symbolize a harmonious, universal concept of heaven, earth, and human, and demonstrate the WTF's vision. Dr. Chung-Won Cho was re-elected to a 4-year term as president of the WTF by earning 122 votes against his opponent's 10 votes in the presidential election at the WTF General Assembly in Madrid on April 12, 2005. In his acceptance speech, President Cho promised to successfully carry out his reform programs during his tenure. The 17th WTF World Taekwondo Championships, held in Madrid, Spain from April 13th to the 17th, was a great success, with the participation of about 1,700 athletes and officials from a record 126 countries. The popularity of Taekwondo was high during the championships, where about 10,000 spectators visited the gymnasium daily. For the first time ever, Eurosport broadcasts live Taekwondo competitions throughout the championships. The WTF also signed a TV rights agreement with Korean Broadcasting System for the championships. A total of 18 countries won at least one medal in the men's competition at the championships, compared with 21 countries for women's competition. The WTF is working on follow-up measures for reform recommendations. To ensure fair judging, the WTF set up an ad hoc committee in late June to review technical matters related to electronic protectors. It plans to hold its first meeting and demonstrations by electronic protector manufacturers of their products on July 20th, 2005 in Seoul. Those changes are in line with the WTF's reform policy that a continued reform is the only key to Taekwondo's consolidated status in the global sports community. To better serve its ongoing reform policy, the WTF also conducted major organizational and personnel changes in May 2005. The WTF won the right to host the 2006 Sport Accord in the city of Seoul at the Sport Accord 2005 held in Berlin, Germany on April 20th, 2005. The WTF is now working with Sport Accord's steering committee on the organization of the event. The 117th IOC session in Singapore on July the 8th voted to include Taekwondo in the program of the 2012 London Olympic Games. The retaining of Taekwondo is not only a vote of confidence on the WTF's reform efforts, but a mandate for the furtherance of Taekwondo and the WTF. Taekwondo's inclusion in the 2012 Olympic Games, Taekwondo will usher in a renaissance as the WTF aims to expand the number of member nationalist associations from the present 179 to the number of IOC member nations, which stands at 202. Taekwondo will be truly reborn as a global sport beloved and respected by people around the world. The WTF is starting anew for the bright future of Taekwondo. The WTF has just started rewriting its 32-year history.